Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sister Friend Podcast. It's been a minute. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, whether you're a biological mother, a stepmother, a godmother, a auntie that act like a mother. Oh my gosh. Just happy Mother's Day. Today is a very special episode. I have a very, very, very special guest here. And she's very special because without her, there would be no Keyanna. Say hi to the world.
Hi, world.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Pamela Radford. I am Keyanna's mother.
Ooh. She gonna try to act shy, y'all, but everybody who know my mama knows she a firecracker.
I'm a little bit on the shy side. I am.
Okay, if you say so. So, this episode is going to be titled The Cost of a Mother's Love, just in honor of Mother's Day.
Oh, Jesus, please don't ask me nothing that's going to make me cry.
No, Mom. You're going to be all right. We're not going to get too deep. We're going to get deep, but we're not going to get too deep. So, for those people who don't know, I consider my mom to be a single mom because she was married at one point, but her and my father went separate ways. And our family took a turn just in the dynamic as far as our household. So I thought it would be real cool for me to interview my mom on our friend. I thought it would be a good aspect because she knows the life of a married mother and she knows the life of a single mother. So she knows the life of being a mom to raising black men. She knows the life of being a mom and raising black women. So I feel like I would get the best of both worlds in every aspect. So you ready, Mom?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, what was your biggest fear in raising a black man?
The biggest fear that I had was that someone would start selling drugs.
Woo! Why?
Yes.
Why was it immediately that though?
Because at the time when I was raising them by myself, that was the thing to do. It was a lot of guys out there that were selling drugs and stuff, and I just had a really, really big fear that as black men in the neighborhoods that we lived in, that they would see that and think that that's what they were supposed to do.
And then also I wanted to ask you, because I think of me and Tashana, we talk about this all the time. Like, how... I don't know how to say. Okay, not everybody don't know this, but I'm going to just say it now. For a while, we were in the ghetto. Like, we grew up in the ghetto for a while. And I know a majority of it was when I was very, very young, so I don't have too many memories of it. But I can see the pictures, and I remember the street signs. We grew up in the ghetto, but we never felt the struggle. And I just wanted to know, like, how did you accomplish that, like, for us to not even identify that we were living in somewhat of an impoverished state?
I don't know what mentality that I had, but I didn't really let y'all outside to play.
What?
No, I didn't really let y'all outside to play. And if I took y'all somewhere, it wasn't to parks that, and I don't want to sound prejudiced against my own people, but sometimes you just have to do certain things to ensure that you're doing what's right for your kids. So I wouldn't take y'all to parks that had a lot of black people per se at the parks. So we went to parks outside of our neighborhood, and that's where we played at. And I didn't let y'all play outside in the neighborhood. And if you did play outside in the neighborhood, then I'd be outside with you.
Okay, so jumping back to fears and being a parent, what was your biggest fear in raising black women?
That y'all would be ghetto. And like I see some of these girls around here flaunting their body and showing off all their junk and stuff.
We know I'm not that.
Well, we know that you are definitely not that. But that was my biggest fear, and I never ever wanted to see one of my daughters just put their body on display like that. I never like to see women like that.
Okay. So, in your experience, from the time that you were married up until the time that you went through a period where you didn't want to be bothered with men, all the way through the point where you were actually actively dating, do you think that men, or black men specifically, do you think that they have any value for women as the mother of their children?
Of course, black men have a lot of value. Even if you have a black man, and he don't have a whole lot of money, what he can give to his children as far as love and spending time with them, that is a lot. It is really, really a lot.
It makes a huge difference.
Yes, ma'am. It really does. That's why I've never been against you guys spending time with your father or anything like that. I wanted you to spend time with him, even if he wasn't taking care of you the way that he should have taken care of you. I've always wanted you to have that father-daughter relationship because it's very important.
Okay. So black people are typically like stapled to be very big on like physical punishment. So I mean, we got whoopings. I already know we got, like, everybody know we got whoopings. But I just want to know your opinion. Do you think that spankings and whoopings are the only effective form of discipline?
No, it's not the only effective form of discipline. But it's the first thing that comes to mind when in my family, it's the first thing that came to my mind when you did something that you wasn't supposed to do. You got a spanking, and I would say that the next time you would think about what happened and the repercussions of what happened, and you wouldn't do what you did anymore. And a good example is when you let your grades drop in school. They didn't drop badly, but it was not the norm for you. And I spanked you. And when you brought those grades up, you came back to me and you say, "Oh, Mama, thank you for whooping my butt."
Okay, so there was a point in growing up where I kind of noticed that you took a different approach with each of your children on how you would reprimand us. Like if we were disrespectful, or if we got out of line, if we were sliding in school, you took different measures of punishment based on who it was. Like, when did you decide that you needed to start curating the way that you raised each child?
When I realized that everybody has a different personality, and I had to react to you guys in different ways. Okay, so when it comes to you as a person, is there a separation between your life as a woman and your life as a mom? Like, is there do you have to compartmentalize each aspect of yourself? A little bit, but I think it's more so with those boys than it is with with you girls.
I heard you say it before, like, especially when it came to Jermaine, like when he started dating women, because he was like, he got to a point where I don't even think he really had an ugly face. Like, he was just immediately handsome, and he noticed like he started getting more and more attention from girls, and you had a talk with him where you told him, like, I'm your mother, but I'm a woman first.
Exactly.
So that's where you had to separate yourself. Like, I want my son to be a certain type of man, so I need to let him know that as a woman, he has to treat these girls a certain kind of way.
Exactly.
Okay, well, what about with me and Tashana? Was there ever a time where you had to separate yourself between being a woman and being our mom?
Yeah, it is a time. I have to, in that aspect of it, I have to say that what I had to do was try not to be judgmental. Because as a woman, think about it, as a woman, Pam, women make mistakes. And even though these are my daughters, they are women, and they have to make mistakes in order to learn. So I have to pull myself out of the situation, so I'm not judging you on your mistakes. So a lot of times when you do something, I close my mouth, because I myself as a woman had to go through a learning period, and I made a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot hold your mistakes against you, because I know that I made some too. It's the learning process.
Okay, so how did you, and this question, you know that it's very personal to me, but how did you handle, especially me and Tashana, how did you handle encouraging your children to maintain a relationship with their fathers or for you, is like when you don't really care for him as a person, or you didn't care for him as a person?
That I don't know if I can answer that question, because it's really, really hard to do, especially when you see that particular person may do something or not do something that is going to cause your child pain. But just like I said before, I had to put my feelings aside and what I thought about him, so that you could have a relationship with him. That's always been very, very important to me. And remember, I used to always tell y'all, in the Bible it says obey your parents. It don't say obey your parent if it's a good parent or if it's a bad parent. It just simply states obey your parents. And I always told y'all to have respect for him, because he was your father.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, even after you would have your little spats with him,
cussed so much, and I was like, but y'all have to have
just hang up the phone, and then as soon as he don't even get a word in, you hang up the phone, and then you turn around to us and be like, y'all need to respect your daddy.
Y'all cannot talk to him like I talk to him.
Okay. So, when because I know that Michael's dad was active whenever he was able to, but when it came specifically to me and Tashana, when it came to my daddy finally getting with the program, even if it was late in the game or even if it was a short period of time, did you still consider yourself a single mom while you were co-parenting